Hi! So now we are going to learn 12 more new books of the Bible, starting in the book of Micah, all the way through to the New Testament in the book of Acts. So far you have already learned 32 books of the Bible, which means that we are about halfway through learning the books of the Bible. So why don't we just give ourselves a round of applause for that? That deserves a great hooray. Good job. We are halfway there. Okay, so in order to learn the books of Micah all the way through the books of Acts, we are going to learn 12 new hand motions. So let's just get started already. Everyone please stand up with me. And let's begin. We will start with the book of Micah. So for Micah, we are going to use our hand to point at ourselves as we say Micah. One more time, Micah. One more time, Micah. Next is the book of Nahum. So for Nahum, we are going to use our pointer finger to point at our mouth as we say Nahum. Okay? Nahum. One more time. Nahum. Next is the book of Habakkuk. So for the book of Habakkuk, we are going to put our thumbs up and point at our back. Habakkuk. One more time. Habakkuk. Now let's review. Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk. One more time. Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk. Okay, now moving on to Zephaniah. So Zephaniah has 3 syllables in his name. When we say his name, it sounds like Zephaniah. So we are going to make a chopping motion as we say Zephaniah. Ready? Zephaniah. One more time. Zephaniah. Okay, now the next book is Haggai. So for Haggai, we are going to close our fingers together like this, bring them towards our belly, and do a backwards and forward motion as we say Haggai. One more time, Haggai. Next is the book of Zechariah. So for Zechariah, we're pretty much doing the same thing as Zephaniah, but instead of a chop, we are going to punch. Zechariah. One more time, Zechariah. And finally, Malachi. Okay, so for Malachi, his name starts with the letter M, right? And something else that happens to start with the letter M is McDonald's. So we know that McDonald's has that famous big yellow M. So when we say Malachi, we are going to create an M with our closed fist. Malachi. One more time. Malachi. Now, let's review what we just learned, starting at Zephaniah. Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi. One more time. Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi. Okay, so now let's take it all the way back to the Old Testament in the book of Isaiah, and we are going to include the new 7 hand gestures that we just learned. Starting at Isaiah, here we go. Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah. And here come the 7 that we just learned. Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and finally, Malachi. Good job. We just learned 7 new hand gestures, and now we are going to move on to the New Testament. So the first 4 books of the New Testament are 4 guys. And these 4 guys are men that sat and listened. So we are going to sit and listen. Put your hands on your lap and take a seat as we say Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Please do that bouncy motion with me as we say Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And then the next book and the final book that we are going to learn is the book of Acts. So for Acts, as we are in our sitting motion, we are just going to get up and act. After we sit and we listen, we act. So we are going to jump. Acts. One more time. Acts. Okay, now let's do that all together. Starting at Matthew. Ready? Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts. Okay, we have officially now learned 12 new books of the Bible. So now that you know 12 new books and 12 new hand motions, it is your turn to practice.